All right, so then the next thing that we're going to talk about is when we're dividing complex numbers. When we divide complex numbers, we're really going to end up just multiplying by our conjugate. So if you remember the last problem that we did, we had -6 plus I times -6 minus I. Well, if you notice that you have the same A, -6 and -6, and then our B is just opposites of each other, so it's +1I and -1I, that is our conjugate. Because when we multiplied this out, our inner terms ended up canceling out. We had +6I, and we had -6I, and then we had -I squared. Our two just imaginary numbers, the i's, will cancel each other out. So then we're able to get rid of our imaginary part. So when we're dividing by a conjugate, like we are here, 2 plus 3i divided by 1 minus 4i, we end up multiplying by the conjugate. So that way we're able to eliminate our i's in our denominator, because we don't want to have any imaginary numbers in our denominator. So we end up multiplying by its conjugate. So then from here, what we do is we identify our denominator. So our denominator is 1 minus 4i. Right? Then we need to multiply by its conjugate. So its conjugate is the same A. Your A does not change. So it's 1, so it's 1. Our B is the only thing that changes. Since that is minus 4i here, we need to multiply by positive 4i. Positive 4i. All right, so 1 plus 4i divided by 1 plus 4i is the same thing. It will cancel each other out. It's equivalent to 1. So we're not changing any values here. But what it's allowing for us to do then is to divide by our imaginary number. So then we would just do our numerator times our numerator. So it's 2 plus 3i times 1 plus 4i, which that will then give me 2 times 4i is plus 8i. 3i times 1 is plus 3i, and 3i times 4i is plus 12i squared. We know that I squared is equal to -1, so it's 2, and 8i plus 3i is plus 11i, and then it's plus 12 times -1. So 2 plus 11i minus 12, or -10 plus 11i. All right, so that was our numerator. So we know our final answer will have -10 plus 11i in our numerator. Now we need to figure out what is our denominator. So then it's 1 minus 4i times 1 plus 4i. All right? One of the things that we will eventually learn how to do is, in class we'll talk about this a little bit more, but since we're multiplying by our conjugates, that I terms are going to cancel out every single time. There's one shortcut that we can do for this, but now we're going to keep foiling. So 1 times 1 gives me 1. 1 times 4i gives me plus 4i. -4i times 1 gives me minus 4i. -4i times positive 4i gives me minus 16i squared. And same thing, our i's, our imaginary parts, are just going to cancel out. I squared is equal to -1, so it's 1 minus 16 times -1, or 1 plus 16, or 17. All right, so then our final answer for our denominator will be 17. So then our answer when we dividing this will be -10 plus 11i divided by 17. All right, and that's your final answer. One more question for this, and then we'll move on to the next video. Now if we're dividing by 3i here, same thing, we will multiply by its conjugate. There is no a here, so our a is just still going to remain 0. So all we then need to do is multiply by our opposite b, which is then -3i. So then we're multiplying each one, or each number, by our numerator by -3i and our denominator by -3i. So then when we multiply our numerator, we get 9 plus 12i times -3i. So then we'll distribute the -3i in, so it gives me minus 27i minus 36i squared. We know that the I squared is equal to -1, so minus 27i minus 36 times -1. So then we get -27i plus 36. And in order to write this in the correct form, it's our real number first, 36 minus 27i. So then we know our numerator is going to be 36 minus 27i. All right, and then our denominator, we will do 3i times -3i, which this is then going to give me -9i squared. We know I squared is equal to -1, so -9 times -1, which is then going to give me +9. All right, now, just like any other fraction, you want to reduce your fractions if you can. So here, we can rewrite this then, or think about this as 36 over 9 and negative 27i over 9. All right, so since 9 is divisible into all of those, we can think about 36 over 9 minus 27i over 9. 36 divided by 9 is 4, and 27 divided by 9 is 3. So our final answer will be 4 minus 3i. All right, that's it for this video. 2 more videos, and we're done with this section.